Hello, Namaskar. I'm Preeti Prakash. Kolkata has been in news for all the wrong reasons these days. On the night of August 9th, a gruesome, horrific, gut-wrenching crime took place in the RG Car Hospital and College of Kolkata, Government College, which shook the conscience of the entire country. Which was very similar to, we are all saying, as you know, very similar to the Nirbhaya gang case. A 31-year-old junior doctor was raped and murdered, physically violated, crossing all limits of human speciality. Social media is full of details about how she was raped and murdered, and the speculations are rife. And social media is discussing about how the entire crime must have been unfolded. There are theories of a political angle to it as well, which are doing the rounds. As the principal of the college is coming people are quite suspecting his role in the entire episode. He was transferred in and out again and again, and every time he would get transferred, somebody would be there, but he would be just there for some time. But this principal would come back again to take up the position of this government college and hospital. The case is now transferred to CBI because of the kind of feeling that the Kolkata police is not doing a great job and in handling the investigation, and is suspected to be in tacit support of the government. So to talk about this and much more, I'm joined with Dr. Mukul Kapoor, who's a very senior doctor. He was a senior advisor, cardiothoracic anesthesiology in the Armed Forces Medical Services. He was director anesthesia Max Healthcare, Saket, Delhi for 11 years. He is presently the chief consultant, head department of anesthesiology and critical care, Amrita Institute of Medical Science, Faridabad. Welcome, Dr. Kapoor.
Thank you, Preeti.
So I'll like to begin by asking Dr. Kapoor, how do you see this horrific rape and spine-chilling murder of this young doctor, of this RG Car Hospital? Particularly, there are a lot of speculations, in the realm of speculations going on, that was it a gang rape or a one-man job, and many other theories that are there on social media. So what is your analysis and prognosis about the entire crime?
Preeti, if you ask me, this is one of the most the gruesome kind of murders and a rape. It is definitely a gang rape. Considering whatever is there in the social media, I may be wrong, but I think what the social media is carrying a lot of things about the postmortem reports also, which is probably true. And I've been hearing the various proceedings in the High Court of the Calcutta High Court also. So I've heard a lot of those proceedings with the video recording of those proceedings also. As per that, it is definitely a gang rape, and a gang rape of the most gruesome nature. And I mean, you can't, imagine the brutality which has taken place. If you ask me, in many times I feel that probably this was more gruesome than the Nirbhaya case also. And the problem here is that it is obvious, it's very obvious. Unlike the Nirbhaya case, which were incidental, they just caught hold of the girl in a bus and then took her. In this case, it's a revenge. It's obviously a revenge because somebody has planned a revenge attack on that poor girl. And not only did a revenge attack, it was done by some people who are, I would say, are in the right frame of mind. They are either lunatics or they are under the effect of drugs. I somehow feel that, though there are multiple theories on why this happened, I somehow feel that whoever could have done such a thing has to be on drugs, has to be either intoxicated. Intoxication also will not cause it. It's the drugs which somebody consumes and thereafter does all these things. But obviously, a very bad case of revenge. And I don't know how people can act in this manner to just to take revenge for something which is wrong.
Also, what do you think about the principal's role, which is the other part of the story, but which links to the crime, in to a larger motive actually?
Yeah, the social media is full of these things that the principal was definitely involved in this case, and probably he is also behind the entire whatever has happened. The reason is that there are lots of people who are put in posts who claim to be friends of that girl, and they say that this girl had been telling them that a lot of misappropriation of funds is taking place in the hospital. People are taking money for admission of patients into the hospital, and the principal is involved. Plus, the social media is also sort of alleging that there was a racket about purchase of drugs and everything in the hospital, and the principal was behind it. This girl was had been talking about this openly, quite openly, in her workplace, and she was mentioning this. And it is recently I just saw a message from a girl who said that she was a good friend of her, which says that this girl was now scared because she had been given some warnings by people, and she was scared of doing it. So she had started collecting documentary evidence against it. And that is what they came to know about. And that is the reason why they destroyed her, and also destroyed a car and lots of other things.
So, what you mean to say is that the administration is surely involved, and the hospital administration for that matter. It's not a one-man job.
It can't be a one-man job. And if you see the reports, the postmortem reports, I don't know how far they're true, but whatever I have seen of them, and see, there are few things. One is once it says that the pelvis of the girl was broken. It is not easy breaking a pelvis of a young person. A pelvis is one of the strongest bones of the body. It's not easy to break it unless you have a very severe accident. It doesn't break easily. So obviously, multiple people were involved in the ensuring that she broke up. Secondly, it is said that the amount of semen which was found on her is not possibly ejaculated by one person. It has to be by multiple people. So that is another reason why it points towards more people being involved. And whenever even if the girl is a timid girl, very frail or whatever, uh, you can't possibly, one person cannot bring her to this condition. You may find scratch marks, you might find one odd bone which is broken, but you can't find such massive injuries in somebody unless multiple people are involved.
Okay. Now, Dr. Kapoor, what would you say regarding the lack of safety and security mechanisms of, in hospitals and doctors in that case also? Generally, the hospital administration is responsible for the safety and security of doctors as well as patients. So if such a thing, and there are reports that this is not the first, murder in this hospital. Earlier also people have committed either suicide or there have been cases, a lot of cases in this hospital. So there is a lot of issue of safety and security in this hospital.
Yeah, so this is a common problem in all government medical colleges. Nothing is there for the security and safety of the doctors. I remember even during my time, that was long, long back, it was more than 40 years back, when I was in college, it was the same state. Government medical colleges, if you needed to protect yourself, you have to call your classmates, you have to call your colleagues to help you out in case of an attack. There's no other way. There's never any police or any kind of security. See, private hospitals still have some security. They have got bouncers and all. Government hospitals do not have them. Government colleges do not have them. And secondly, the living conditions of doctors in government medical colleges are terrible. You talk about this girl was on 36 hours of duty. 36 hours of duty, firstly, is inhuman. I mean, as a senior today, I ensure that none of my juniors is ever put on such a duty. If I'm putting somebody on, we have 24-hour duties at times, but what I try to do is I do not exceed 18 hours of duty in any day. But if I make somebody do 18 hours of duty, give them an off the next day. I do not make them do more than their stipulated number of hours. But in government medical colleges, and I've seen very frequently, people are made to work 36 hours. I remember even my time when I was doing my post graduation, we worked 36 hours a day. I mean, on our duty days, we were working 36 hours. So, firstly, make them work hard. There is no place to rest.
Mm.
There is no duty room available where people can rest, where people can even, have a short nap. There's no place. So obvious. So this girl also was doing the same thing. There's no duty room there. She went to rest in the seminar room. Seminar is a classroom. Seminar room is a classroom. She was resting in the classroom where she was attacked. And it is unfortunate that nobody till date, no government, no, I would even blame our own people, no medical professional in the senior positions have tried to look after the welfare of medical students and postgraduates. Medical education is one of the most difficult and most demanding kind of education in which you need to, I know why we work 36 hours was we wanted more and more exposure to patient care and how to manage things. That is why, that is good, of course, good. But at least if you're trying to get them the best exposure to patient care and patient well, think that you should at least look after their welfare. You don't even, in hospitals, you don't even get a cup of tea at night. If you want to have tea, I remember even when we wanted to have tea, I had to leave the hospital, go to the thela nearby where people are there, have it on the thela, and then come back. There's no facility, no cafeteria, no canteen in almost all medical colleges, even to date. If there is a canteen which functions only during office hours, it does not function in the evening. And all the junior doctors are working all through the night. So as a result, it's unsafe at times. It depends on your area where your medical colleges, poor girls and all who are working, if they have to go out to have even a cup of tea or eat something, they're exposed to danger at any stage. So absolutely nothing is there for safety.
And on top of this, these kind of unsocial elements just allowed to enter, loiter inside without any checking, without any people, druggists for that matter, criminals may just keep coming in. Uh,
Any in a private hospital, you got security, but in a government hospital, there is no security personnel of any kind. Anybody can walk in, anybody can do anything at any time. And if you see, even if you look at lots of movies are there in which you find the murderer goes inside, murders people on the hospital bed and goes away,
mm,
escapes. And this was, of course, dramatic shown in movies, but
mm.
it's actually true. Anybody can walk in at any time into any hospital room and do whatever they want, any kind of criminal activity and go away. There is no security of any kind.
Doesn't after all, they're government hospitals. And so, what is all required by the government to be done to these hospitals? I mean, security is the basic thing. What else? No?
Apart from, see, not only security, the
Well,
welfare looked after. Nobody looks after the welfare. Governments are not interested in anything. Governments are only interested in making money. If you ask me, the government, the people who are, all the politicians are only busy gather, uh, somehow getting money from different people. They're not interested in what's happening. When I was in college, I tell you those days, we went on a long strike. Strike lasted for 1.5 months because of something it was against the principal at that time because of something which had done wrong. It was impossible. I was approached by politicians during that day, that period, to give a warning. Though I was not a leader, I was not a union leader, but even I was approached. I was approached by the politician. You try and get this strike over. We will, otherwise we will will harm you. They were threatening me. Well, I was just one of the students there, but they were after so many of us, threatening us. The politicians were threatening us that you better stop this strike, otherwise we will sort you all out.
mm.
So politicians are not interested in anybody's welfare. They're only interested in filling up their own pockets. And if you look at the state of my medical college, the college in which I was in a better shape earlier, I recently went there. I mean, I just could not even enter the hospital. The condition was pathetic, so dirty. The same old buildings are there. They've gone old. They are not been maintained. Politicians are not interested in this. Politicians are only interested in they're filling their pockets. They're not interested in the welfare. They may have got the latest of equipment in the hospital, but look at the medical college hostels. Look at the toilets of the place and all toilets of the hospital also. They smell. You can't go near a hospital toilet. They're so dirty. Nobody bothers about it. Neither our administration, the hospital administration, nor the politicians.
Whereas the maximum people, they come to government hospitals only because so many of them below poverty line get free treatments, and it is also said that government hospitals have the best of doctors, for that matter.
They have the thing is, I also trained in a government hospital, and I was lucky I trained there because it is considered, if you are bright, only then you get into a government medical college and get trained there. So the thing is, yes, the exposure to disease and disability in a government medical college is, is too good. Your training as a result becomes very good. So those people who are working there are definitely very good clinical clinicians, I would say. That is the reason why Indian government hospital doctors all migrate to the US. Why do they migrate? Because they get the best clinicians from India. In US also they do not get that exposure in medical colleges what we get in India. So definitely exposure is very good. The quality of doctors is very good, but unfortunately, uh, their condition is very bad.
Condition is bad.
Their condition is very bad. They are not well paid. They are not having proper anything. I would say nothing available with them.
Okay. So there is this organization, the IMA, Indian Medical Association, which has also announced a one-day strike by the doctors around the country regarding this case, RG Car Hospital case. So, I mean, what else can the organizations, like they are the apex organizations, they must surely be having a role to play in improving the conditions and the safety and security of doctors?
I don't think so. IMA is an active organization. They are politically active also. But if you see, it's just an association of doctors. They do not have any legal standing. It's just an NGO. If you say classified as an NGO, they do not have any power of any kind. The government has not given them any power. They're just an organization. They can only protest. They can only advise, but they cannot actually implement anything because there's nothing in their hand. IMA has been fighting for doctors for quite some time. It's an organization which has been fighting for doctors. I remember I've also gone and spoken at IMA meetings against Patanjali when Patanjali was attacking doctors and Ramdev was attacking doctors. I've spoken also there, but we can only speak. We cannot do actually anything. We cannot legally do anything. We cannot force the government to implement some laws. We can only advise. IMA has been trying it and they have miserably failed because the government has no interest in us. Government is not interested in us. Unfortunately, what happened was a few years back, the president of IMA had was attached to the TMC. He had with the TMC. So as it is, whenever he used to speak in the parliament, he was a member of the parliament also, and nobody would take notice of it because he's from TMC. And most of the doctors who are leading the IMA, they are nowhere in the political hierarchy. They are not MPs or MLAs or something who have got a say in the functioning of the government. They have no role, unfortunately. And I would say that in this particular case, why should we only depend on IMA? When the Nirbhaya case happened, the entire public came in to fight for Nirbhaya. So why are the others not coming? It's not an isolated case of a doctor. It's a woman who has, been violated. It's a woman who has been violated, and anybody can get violated, whether you are a doctor or you are working in a corporate office or you're working in any government job, you are working in income tax. You can be violated anywhere by somebody who decides to take revenge. So why doesn't the entire public stand up with for this case and take some action? Why only should doctors fight for it and then get a bad name that we are not treating doctor and not treating patients because we have closed down?
Yeah, no, but I think even during Nirbhaya's case, of course, the entire nation rose up. And now this case has become, because that was Delhi centric. Nirbhaya happened in the national capital. Now this has happened in Kolkata and West Bengal. So I'm sure there are a lot of protests of doctors in West Bengal, and it has started trickling down in the country. The protests are taking place, I think. But I mean, what is really required to address this problem is the major issue.
What is really required is safety of women in the entire country.
Yeah.
Laws have to be framed which are going to look into the safety of women. It's not just for lady doctors. The laws have to be framed to look after safety of women, and we have to have very tough laws as far as molestation, rape, etc. are concerned. That people should be scared of doing such a thing. You can't expect to leave somebody, the Nirbhaya case, they left somebody because he was supposed to be a minor.
Juvenile, yeah.
So, I mean, you can't go on like this. You can't, you have to amend the laws. You have to make the laws in such a manner that you should ensure that nobody can get away with it. And as far as security is concerned, everywhere where women are working, you should have more security cameras, and you should have more security personnel manning those cameras, not only security manning those cameras, and so that some action is taken at the right time. It's unfortunate that a country like India, which is supposed to have a culture which is uh, so many centuries old, which is supposed to be one of the oldest cultures in the world, we are still not able to look after our women. It's unfortunate, really. I feel it's a this particular case is more on the protection of women rather than protection of doctors.
Absolutely. That is absolutely true. But I mean, even though we after Nirbhaya that law was a little tweaked, and then a little more stringent measures were included in it, but still things are as normal as they were always. Right now, also, as we reported the August 9th case, there were two more major rape cases, one in Uttarakhand and one in Bihar. Similar ones where the girls were absolutely, that was again these were again very bone chilling rapes and murders which took place. So things are just going normal as they are, despite the law, as you're saying, should be made. And people are not scared of the law. Okay, now moving ahead, considering this case of RG Kar Hospital, you see a clear nexus between the administration, hospital administration, and the state government, because as the way the police behaved, and it is said that they went and hid in the bathrooms, that of the and they wanted the girls hostel, they hid there and all. So there is a clear nexus between the medical fraternity and the political class. How do you see this?
Yes, definitely agree with you. There's always a nexus. It's unfortunate that the senior officials in this case, they're all involved, probably involved in it, or maybe they're trying to protect somebody who's involved in it, who's somebody very important for them. Maybe that is so, but definitely there's a nexus in there. Otherwise, if there was no nexus, why would goons attack the students there? The goons have attacked the students, and goons are always paid. Remember, goons are not, it's not somebody who has got, sort of uh, made some speech, or somebody gets infuriated, or somebody gets, alarmed by this and they suddenly come and attack. They're obviously paid guys. Goons are always paid. You pay money, you get those guys. So somebody's paying them money, somebody big is paying them money to attack it. And the basic aim of the attack is one is put down the star. That is one aim. The second is to, as was seemed obvious, was to destroy evidence, because they tried to break lots of things, and so that the evidence. So such a thing will only happen if there is political patronage. You can't have it without political patronage. I mean, I may have, I may be Ambani, I may have a lot of money, but even I cannot create violence like the ones which was done by these goons. Such violence can only be created by people who have got patronage from politicians. So obviously, political patronage is there. Whether I don't know whether the principal was how involved the principal was in this. Or it is said that the principal also has got political patronage. So maybe he approached the politicians, sort out these guys, sort out the students, and create trouble. Whatever it is, definitely a political angle is there.
Yeah. Have you, like what we have heard from social media, is that the two theories that if it was one person, then it was this Roy who was himself, or if it was a gang rape, then the camera doesn't show anything there, no?
Yes.
The camera has no recording. So What comes to your mind? I mean, how it must have been played out?
See, I mean, as per what I read, a note which was sent by one of the girl students there. I don't know whether it's a true note or it's fabricated, but whatever note I got, it was said that this girl, they had planned to send this girl she was on 36-hour duty, and it was planned, and she was said, you go and rest in this room. It was sort of planned. And they said, you go and rest in this room. Somebody was involved there who purposely sent her there, and they had planned them, and she's there, then they are going to do whatever they wanted to. So obviously, lots of insiders were involved in it, and maybe there were men of whoever was controlling them. Whatever was, the insiders were definitely involved in that, and it's unfortunate that whoever was involved, we don't know about it because this girl unfortunately died. She's not there to tell us anything. And I don't know. I read today that she had bought a car recently. This girl had bought a car recently, and she probably had some evidence, documentary evidence lying in the car. They have later on even destroyed her car.
Mm.
Her car also has been destroyed. So
Mm.
obviously, it is not just somebody just wanted to have sex and rape somebody. It was obviously a sinister plan that finish off all the evidence, finish her off, finish off all the evidence. So otherwise, why would they destroy the car? If they were only interested in raping a girl, they would have done it and finished it off. But they've destroyed the car also. That means there's something more to it.
Yeah, like even I read, as I read the social media reports say that there is not, there was the camera, of course, records this boy coming in at 4 and then going out after 1.5 hour or 2 hours, whatever. But there were others who had entered from some other side, and they did whatever, which was not anywhere on the camera. They did whatever, and they killed her at that point of time only. And then this boy was sent separately by someone that
Hmm.
she's there, and you can go in there. Uh,
Hmm.
so all these kind of theories, you think they are plausible?
They either see, I don't know. This boy is supposed to have confessed to the police that he was.
Yeah.
So either it's a ploy to for diversion of the main evidence. It's only a ploy. They have planted somebody. They they feel that nobody will be able to prove anything after some time, and so they planted somebody. They must have paid a good amount of money to this chap. He was supposed to be a police informer. This
Mm.
man was a police informer, and police informers are always notorious characters.
Yeah.
They are not straight guys. They are criminals who police use for basically getting a lot of information from the world, crime world. So a police informer means a guy will do anything for money. So maybe this guy was sent with something that will pay you so much, which happens like in what happened in Pune when that Porsche
Mm.
accident case. They
Mm.
told the driver to take the
Yeah. To
and
take
something
the blame
happened.
on him. Yeah.
Blame. Similarly, when Salman Khan was drove the car over lots of pedestrians, again the driver was sent there to say that no, I was driving the car.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sorry I used the word Salman Khan because he's supposed to be free today and left by the court. But whatever it is, I'm sure something like that happened.
Yeah, so there are a lot of the cases still open, and I don't know how now CBI might find proof or not, evidence or not, because so much has been destroyed. And today, I also read that the father of the girl has said that yes, the administration, the government is also involved, and the administration is involved. Uh, because
Yeah,
what they didn't let the parents see the body for 3 hours, and so.
there are some statements which I don't know. Again, I'm not always quoting the social media. There
Yeah.
are some statements which say that the parents were a little aware of what was going on because the girl had disclosed to the parents that
Uh-huh.
a lot wrong things are going on in the hospital. They may not be having the entire evidence, but they were aware of a few things.
Yeah.
They were aware that some wrong is going on in the hospital, and this girl had probably told them also about it. But whether I don't know whether they are brave enough to disclose that to the CBI or not. Going to be, it's very difficult for them to live in that in that city in case the entire city is after them, or the politicians there are after them, not the entire city, but the politicians are after them. So whether they'll be having that much amount of courage to disclose it to the CBI is also.
That is there. Okay, I think we have to wait and see now as things unfold and as more information comes in. It's basically coming through social media only. So, thank you so much for talking to me, Dr. Kapoor. It was a pleasure having you on my show. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Preet. Thanks a lot.
Thank